Yeah, so I think I've got time for one more question. This one looks good. What have you learnt from audience feedback, if you did receive any? Okay, well, obviously it's a good idea to do more than one edit of a film, and viewing it in just our little group was a good idea, but ultimately left us with just the obvious fixes. You know, it's like the fixes we had were good, but they weren't big. It wouldn't have massively improved anything. So we screened the first edit in front of people, obviously, and had them fill out little sheets that would then give us feedback on what to correct from the film. So the first edit of the film, it was okay, but where we needed to improve was pretty obvious, especially when screening it in front of people. I get really critical of my work, or my team's work, when showing it to people. But there was a slight frustration I had, which was the majority of the feedback we got was simple. Not to say it wasn't helpful or anything, but it was definitely simple. Things like the music could be better, and this scene is too light. You know, really, really simple stuff. Stuff that could be fixed in Premiere Pro, or stuff that we'd already picked out as the group. But then again, we did also get some really helpful ones. Ones that one that said things like the part where she runs through the house, it could be a bit shorter, and where that doesn't, that seems like something obvious. It's not something that we really picked up on until somebody had said that, and we all went through it and we thought, yeah, no, this could definitely be not necessarily shorter, but it could have more to it. Because originally it was just the camera follows Caitlin up the hall, then she turns round, then she goes down the hall, then she goes into a porch, and then she goes out of the porch and she's back at the hall. So what we did there was we went back and we refilmed it. We didn't refilm it, we filmed more things. We filmed close-ups of her locking the doors, and we had a different camera angle at one point, and we tried messing around with the lighting, that kind of thing. But that wasn't the only one. Of course, there were others. One really helpful one in particular was commenting on the bad guy's voice. It said something along the lines of the bad guy should be louder, and he doesn't sound very threatening. And talking about the villain, because originally he was very quiet and his voice wasn't very threatening, which we weren't really trying to go for threatening, we were trying to make him sound more creepy. But working off of the audience opinions, making him sound creepy was clearly not working as well as we were thinking, and we went back and we changed his voice slightly. We didn't go necessarily for a more intimidating thing. We tried to make him even creepier, but something that did help for that was definitely turning his voice up, making him be louder. But yeah, I mean that kind of thing. We went back and we decided to ask the voice actor if they could go back and redub some of the lines, because the villain was, luckily for us, not hard to redub because of he had his mask on. So we just got the actor back in and we asked him to do it again, but make his voice a little bit more grouchy. Not grouchy, yeah, kind of goblin-esque sort of thing. So moving forward from that, what we actually learnt from this audience feedback was, and we were able to use this, we were able to put this audience feedback into practice because we had time to go back and reshoot some things. Not everything, of course, that would have taken too long, but we could go back and we did reshoot some things. And one of the things that we did was we had an external device record the sound. That's what we learned. We learned that having an external voice recorder hooked up to an actual microphone is much better than using the microphone on a camera. The camera microphone will work, but it won't work nearly as well as having a device that is specifically for sound. Next, we learnt that you have to come up with more than one way, or describe to your actors how to portray their character in more than just one way. That's it. Because like you pitch your character, you come up with your character, right? And once you've got your character, you get your actor. And what you do there is once you've got the script in front of them, you do line readings, and that's telling them how you want them to portray the character, how you want them to say their lines. And the problem with that is there should always be, and what we learned was that there should always be something that the actor is putting into it. If you cannot stand having your actors portray the character in their certain way, then you do the character. That's what we learned. That we learned to let the actors do their interpretation of what you want and not specifically what you want, and always have more than one way of doing it. When you tell them what to do, let them do what you've done and then do their interpretation of what you've done, and then see if there's any more ideas. Next is music. Oh my god. The sound in general is too important to stress, but music specifically will make or break your film. We had lists as long as your arms, simply going over all the music we could use for each part of the film. Which also brings me to the point, always have backup music option for each individual track. I mean, like, as what we did was we practically changed every piece of music in the film. Because we did the first edit, we got everything reviewed. One of them was that the music wasn't intense enough, or it was too intense for the starting scenes, not intense enough for the ending scenes. So we were able to use these backup tracks that we had listed in this massive list, and it just didn't take us very long at all to replace all the tracks because we had these backup tracks ready. And I will go on a bit of a tangent here with sound, because sound will be the most important thing in your film to just sell the final product. You know, you can have a brilliant story, brilliant music, brilliant setting and actors, but if the world doesn't feel real, then the audience won't connect to the story at all. You know, so how do you make the world feel real, you might ask there? And that's simple. You make it sound real. There is a reason that Hollywood studios hire what's called a Foley artist. What a Foley artist does is they literally record 100,000 sounds for each individual thing. Each individual thing that can make a noise. If you're filming somebody that's waking up in a bed and they're turning over, the Foley artist will take a pillow into a soundproof room and record loads of different sounds with the pillow to try and make it sound real. And so if you've got a door closing, you'll have the Foley artist do a few different takes on where the door is closing, at the hinges, at the actual door handle, where the door clicks into itself. Sorry, where the door itself clicks into the door frame. It just, small things like that just really helps to make your world that you've created feel better. And finally, editing. More specifically, colour correction. Make sure that the colours in the film look how they should. If you want a cold, distant scene, you want to turn it blue. If you want a more warm, friendly scene, make it a sort of bright yellow orange. You know, that kind of thing. If you want something that's gritty and realistic, make it brown. Make it a very brown and dark brown, like The Walking Dead does for their opening titles. Is that they've corrected, or colour corrected, or colour changed their opening titles so everything looks much more dirty. That kind of thing. But yeah, that's what we learned from our audience feedback. And I think that should be it now. That's all I have time for, so thanks for tuning in, and goodbye.